Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in today. In today's video, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about routes into the social work qualification in England and Wales. The information I'm going to share here is more basically from my own understanding of how things work in England. I didn't qualify in England. I qualified abroad, but having worked in England for almost 8 years now, I think I have some little bit of information which I can share, which can benefit one or two people who are considering, a career in social work. This is information shared, sorry, from my own experiences, as well as experiences of supervising people who have gone through these routes, which I'm going to talk to you about today. I'm not going to be giving all exhaustive information in this video clip, but it's just going to give you a glimpse into the route that you can take to qualify as a social worker in England and Wales. So there are multiple routes of which one can consider if they want to enter into the profession of social work within England and Wales. Each route, I need to stress that it has got its own unique requirements, and remember, each university has got its own unique requirements as well. So it's important for you to be doing your own due diligence in terms of checking with each and every university that you want to apply with in terms of what will be their requirements. But the basics of the information I'm going to give today is what you think is what you will need for you to actually consider yourself to be undertaking a qualification in social work basically. Remember, these routes, once you finish your qualification, they will obviously enable you to register with Social Work England or Social Care Wales, for those who are practicing in Wales, really. First, that I'm going to talk about today is the undergraduate degree route, the undergraduate degree in social work route. In terms of an overview, this is basically where you'll be qualifying or you'll be studying full-time for your Bachelor of Social Work degree. This is the most common route that most people do take. It's usually 3 years to 4 years full-time of study, depending with which university you're going to be studying with. And in terms of the eligibility within England or within Wales, it usually varies, but you can check your UCAS, tariff points that you require, to enter each and every, particular university that you're applying to. It depends with which university, really. The most basic things that you need to be aware of is the fact that you will need your GCSE, English and Mathematics, either grade 4 or grade C and above, for you to qualify into the degree route of social work. That's the most common route that people do take, after finishing their, basic education, basically. Some universities may require prior, experience in social care or in care settings, or in social work settings, really, either working as a social work assistant or as a family support worker, or as a key worker in a care agency, or in any setting where you've got caring responsibilities, basically. The structure of this study, which is usually 3 or 4 years of study, it covers both the academic learning as well as the placements in social work settings. This could be a placement in a social work team, it could be placement in a voluntary organization, so it depends, really. And in terms of funding, the tuition fees, do vary from one university to the other. There are some universities like University of Sunderland, which is one of the cheapest universities that one can go to, really. There are some universities as well which are quite expensive as well. So it depends with what you want. But the bottom line is, if you are deciding to take this route, there is what we call the social work bursary that most people do apply for. So you can apply for the social work bursary and you'll be able to actually undertake your studies in social work through this route, which is the primary route, the social work degree route, the BA in social work degree route. And then the second route I'm going to be talking about today is the Masters in Social Work route, which is the postgraduate route. So you may have your primary qualification in, say, psychology, sociology, archaeology, or in any humanities field, really, any even literature or music or whatever, first degree that you have done. But if you want to take this route, You may not necessarily need to go to the bachelor's route. If you have got a first qualification, you can actually go through the master's in social work route, which is the postgraduate route. Once you qualify with your master in social work degree, you will be able to register with Social Work England and actually practice as a social worker. This is usually a 2 years full-time, study. And like obviously eligibility do, depend from one university to the other. But, the basic requirements is for you to have a 2-1, pass degree, or a 2-2 pass degree in any subject that you have understand, which you may have studied. You may have studied engineering, you may have studied mathematics, you may have studied, any other qualification. But if you want to go through this route, that's another shorter version or shorter route to get into social work when you are in England. This will be, particularly, useful for those people who have come to England from other countries, qualified in other countries, in other, profession, but you feel like, I need to take this route into social work. This is one of the most straightforward and easier route that one can take, because you only do your 2 years full-time study, and after that you qualify, and then you can go into ASYE program. Because remember, all these routes that I'm talking about, once you are done with your primary social work qualification, you will still need to do your ASYE program after that. And this one also requires you to have GCSE English and Mathematics. And if you have relevant prior experience, that will be most welcome, really, because that's what they'll be looking at as well. Obviously, somebody who has good experience may actually stand a better chance than somebody who doesn't have an experience. In terms of funding, you can also apply for a bursary, social work bursary, through this route, but there is also postgraduate loans that one can take. It depends with how long you have been in the UK, for you to be able to qualify for those postgraduate loans or for that social work, bursary. I think the minimum requirement would be for you to be in the UK for 3 years, or for you to have actually obtained your indefinite leave to remain, for you to be able to qualify and actually apply for bursary and apply, for those postgraduate loans, really. Then the other third route is the fast track route. This is primarily for postgraduates as well, who want to qualify quickly while working in real life settings. For example, maybe you have been working in a in child and family setting, but you want to actually do the fast track program. This is only applicable to applicants who live in England. You need to take note of that. It's a 2-year program focusing on child and family social work. It combines also both, academic study as well as hands-on placements, which takes the majority of of the studies that you'll be doing. So with regards to this one, there's two routes, really. You can be offered a postgraduate diploma once you finish your first year. If you choose to leave, and just continue and, do your ASY or whatever, you can actually take that route. But you can also get your master's, after that, if you finish your second year, within the frontline program. It also marries into the Step Up to Social Work England, program, which is, a 14-month intensive program leading to a postgraduate diploma as well, which is fully funded, with a bursary. There is also what they call Think Ahead. This is more specifically for those who want to specialize in mental health and social work, which combines, the postgraduate diploma as well as work-based learning, really. And then the fourth route, which is quite interesting, which most people do not know about, is the apprenticeships in social work. This is usually funded through the apprenticeship levy, and it's mostly funded by the employers. So this will be most people who are working in social care setting already, like I said earlier on, like key workers, mostly working for local authorities or even some private organizations. But you wanna do the apprenticeship program, you can actually be considered through this one. This is mostly a work-based route where you earn whilst you learn. So, and most of the people that I know who have undertaken this study, this route, would be those who are already working for the local authority, maybe as a family support worker or as a social worker assistant or another capacity where you are actually frontline facing, you're working with, service users already, because that prior experience actually exposes you to other elements of social work that you would actually be finding useful in this study. It's usually 3 to 4 years, depending with which region that you are studying. It's typically for those who are already employed in social care, like I already said, and it's an on-job training, just like any other apprenticeship that you can think of. It's on-job training, really, which combines both academic study, at a university, as well as practicals. So, for example, most people that I know who are doing the apprenticeship program, it depends with which university that they're studying with. Some do two days of uni per week, and then 3 days at work. Some do 1 day at uni and 4 days at work. So you can tell already that it's a work-based learning program, really. And for those who don't have primary qualifications like the normal, GCSE qualifications for you to step up into social work, remember there is what we call access courses that you can, access in any community college near you, where you can access, in what we can actually undertake what we call access, in access course to social work or to humanities or to social care. And then it's mostly for those without the traditional qualifications, like I mentioned already. It's called access to higher education diploma in social work, which can provide obviously a route to you actually undertaking a social work degree. So for those who may have access to higher education diploma, maybe in social care or in social care and health, you can actually step up, and actually use that primary qualification or that qualification to go into social work. Remember, most universities also recognize what we call prior learning. So if you may, like I said earlier on, if you have got another qualification in another field, there is recognition of that prior learning that you may have done for you to actually get into social work. And at the end of the day, the other key consideration that we need to be mindful of is all these rules that I've spoken about. Remember, at the end of your studies, you will still need to do what you call the assisted and supported year in employment, where you will be, for 12 months, you'll be attached to a team where you'll be doing any other roles, as a social worker, but you will be assessed, you also be assessed within that, you'll be assessed and supported within that, year, which is actually 12 months. And then you have your 3-month review, your 6-month review, a 9-month review, and your 12-month review. And once you're done with that, you are a fully fledged qualified social worker who can actually work, in any setting really that you would want to work in. And remember, you cannot practice. Social work is a protected title. You cannot practice in social, to use a title as social worker when you are not qualified one, and when you are not registered with Social Work England. So all these rules that I've spoken about will actually enable you to register with Social Work England, and you will need your DBS as well before you even get employed. You need to have a DBS check done. And after that, you are good to go, basically. So if you feel there is information that I may have left in this video and you want to comment, please put your comment in the comment section below, and let's keep the conversation going in the comment section. I'm not claiming to know everything when I post such information. Like I said, this is information from what I've self-directed learning, as well as my own experience of working with working in the field for that long. And I hope this information is going to be helpful to someone. But please do your due diligence and do your own research if you plan to study, if you plan to enter this field of social work. Quite interesting field, and I wish you all the best in the future. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.